We can begin.
Welcome to the 2014, I'm sorry, no? I can't see it because I got rid of it.
You're recording, Don.
Okay. Welcome to the 2014 Survey Packet Training hosted by the Nevada Quality and Technical Assistance Center for the Healthy Living Up to Me system. My name is Dawn Gensch. Andrew Woodruff and I will be providing this training for you. Quick overview of the purpose of this training. As leaders for Stanford University chronic disease or diabetes self-management programs in English and/or Spanish in the state of Nevada, we're asking that you utilize these Healthy Living Up to Me program data collection forms and procedures. It helps meet the necessary standards set by Stanford University and our funders. We're suggesting that the use of these forms is now a requirement for lay leaders and Nevada organizations that are implementing the chronic disease and diabetes self-management programs under the Stanford license that is held by Nevada QTAC. And it's strongly recommended that if you have your own license, you also utilize these forms and procedures. We invite you to start utilizing all of these forms immediately with the next workshop that you have scheduled or hope to hold. We encourage you to also train all of your personnel, meaning all of the leaders, coordinators, or people that are involved in the collection or reporting of data for the programs. So at your next workshop, we hope that all leaders will utilize these forms in 2014 and beyond. So really what we're trying to do with this survey packet training is give you tips for how to use all the paperwork, and really it is evaluation paperwork. So this slide is a process overview. We're going to go through all of the forms and the process or procedures in the slides that follow slide 4. But at this high level, let's go through kind of the 4 components or areas of forms that you'll be using. So as a lay leader, you have lay leader training and requirements. If you've completed that training as a leader, the recommendation by Stanford and by Nevada Quality and Technical Assistance Center is that you facilitate your first workshop within 6 months following that training that you've received, that face-to-face training with other leaders or people who became leaders facilitated by 2 master trainers. As a leader who is working under the Nevada Quality and Technical Assistance Center, we strongly recommend and require for leaders under QTAC to have an agreement in place with us. So there is a leader agreement form that you will see on the Healthy Living Up to Me website for that purpose. And then another part of your lay leader training is to go through this survey packet training, as well as an additional training that is for patient identifiable information / security training. So we want you to complete both of those trainings. There is one test that's online, a short survey of questions that you need to complete after you have watched both this survey packet training and the patient identifiable information / security training. Once you've completed that test, then we provide you an email with a certificate of completion. So those are the lay leader training components. The next part is pre-workshop. So now you've completed all your leader training requirements, and now you're going to co-facilitate a workshop. So we've created some materials to help you do that. There is a template for both chronic disease and diabetes available for you to put in your information about your workshop, and then you can use that for marketing. Those templates are on the Healthy Living Up to Me website, so you can download them, insert things like the date of your training, the location, and how workshop participants would register for your workshop. In addition, there is a template or a form on the Healthy Living Up to Me website that allows you to tell us about your workshop so that we can market for you on the website, because we have an ongoing running list of workshops scheduled across the state of Nevada. So please keep us informed of your workshops. Then, as another activity of part of pre-workshop is a workshop consent and registration form. This would be completed by all of the workshop participants who register for your workshop. So this form is very important for us to have to know who is participating in workshops. Then there is an additional form that gives even more details about the workshop, the names of the leaders, more details about where the workshop is being held, and so that form is also on the website for you to use. And then finally, as a leader, as a co-facilitator, there is a non-disclosure agreement form. And that non-disclosure agreement form is tied back to your understanding and participation in that patient identifiable information security training that you will have already completed. But each time you facilitate a workshop, we would like to have that non-disclosure agreement from you as a leader or co-facilitator of the workshop. So that's the high-level overview of those pre-workshop forms. Once you get to the workshop, of course, you'll have already had that participant workshop consent registration form completed by each one of your workshop participants. But then we want you to have those same participants complete pre- and post surveys. So there are short surveys that you will want to download and print and make available to each of your workshop participants. And so you'll do that at the first class of the 6 sessions in your workshop, and then you'll do it at the last one. That would be the post one. We're going to talk in the patient identifiable information security training about how to keep that information secure and safe. Then during the workshop at that first session, there's also a welcome letter. That welcome letter talks about why you're asking workshop participants to fill out that consent registration form as well as the pre-post surveys. So you read that once, and if participants would want a copy, you could make that available, but that's not something that you would have to pass out. Then for the workshop, we also have several other forms, an attendance log, so you can keep track of all your workshop participants, and then a workshop tracking form that allows you to make sure you have completed forms, such as the consent registration form and the pre-post surveys. Once your workshop is complete, we want to know that. So there's a workshop cover sheet that allows you to, again, inform us that everything is complete and what is included in the material that you're returning to the Nevada Quality and Technical Assistance Center. Or if your organization is authorized to utilize the data portal for the Healthy Living Up to Me system, you will have had specific training on that with us and know how to access the data portal and input the information about your workshop, about the workshop participants from the consent registration form, as well as from the pre-post surveys. All of this is important for many, many reasons. That data is useful to us at the Nevada Quality and Technical Assistance Center for purposes of reporting back to Stanford University because we have a license. And if you are with an organization that has their own license with Stanford University, it will be useful for you in your annual report back to Stanford University. It's also important for any grants that your organization may have or that we may have as far as the Nevada Quality and Technical Assistance Center.
This is Andrew. I just want to
let's dive
make...
in more specifically.
Oh, Don, I just wanted to make one clarification on the previous slide. And that was that the non-disclosure form for leaders under the QTAC license, we will keep one of those on file for all of our active leaders, and that we don't need the form for each workshop. Just once you start leading, we'll keep that form.
Thank you for clarifying. Okay, so let's talk more specifically about the survey packet.
Don, I'm not hearing your audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for that interruption, everyone. We wanted to next show you where all of these forms that we've given a high-level overview of are located, and they are located on the nvhealthyliving.org website. This is the website up here that you can see. And when you go to that website, all of these forms that are part of this survey packet training, you go to this tab called Workshops, and then you open up the first item in this menu called About Workshops. And when you scroll down through this, all of the forms that we're talking about in this survey packet training are located here for you. So we're not going to go into this and show you each form as it would appear on the website, but please know that, again, when you go to nvhealthyliving.org, go under Workshops, About Workshops, all of these survey packet training forms are located in that location of the nvhealthyliving.org website. So the form or the document that summarizes all of these templates and forms that we want you to use are in this document here called About the Workshop Survey Packet. So everything that we've addressed so far and we'll talk about in detail next are on this document. So let's dive a little deeper and talk about each form as well. So all of the evaluation tools or survey packet tools are listed here. About this survey packet, which was the one I just showed you, a cheat sheet, if you will, the workshop information form so that we are aware of the workshop and can post that information, all the way through to a cover sheet if you are giving us the information in hard copy. So that workshop information form, again, is located on the Healthy Living, nvhealthyliving.org website under the Workshops menu item, where you can see the red arrow is pointing to right here. And again, this is really important. We want to help you market your workshops because we are trying to encourage potential workshop participants to come to the website to find out where a workshop is scheduled so that they can then register and participate in your workshop. So let us know so that we can help you market. Also, on this website is then the workshop marketing flyers. This is just an example of one of the flyers that's up there. And you can see that there are some X's in places, but you are certainly welcome to add your own logo to this and add all of the applicable information so that workshop registrants will know how to register and where that workshop is happening. As you can see, we are working at this time for Spanish versions of these flyers as well to help all of you who are leaders that are facilitating workshops in Spanish for chronic disease or diabetes in Nevada. The welcome and consent letters. Again, the welcome letter is something that we ask you as a leader to read aloud during the first workshop, and it helps you explain to participants what we're doing and about privacy and protecting their personal information in that consent and registration form as well as in that pre and post surveys. So the welcome letter is there for you to just read aloud. You might want to print it off so that you have a hard copy with you at your first workshop session. And then the consent and registration form you would obviously want to print out and make enough copies so that each of your workshop participants can complete during the workshop, preferably prior to the first session or during that first session. Next, on the website, you'll see the Facilitator Non-Disclosure Agreement. This is the form that you as a leader need to fill out, and that Andrew has already clarified. We just need one copy of this. Perhaps on an annual basis might be ideal, but you can fill this out at the start before your first workshop. This is also important if you would end up needing a substitute. So if the same two leaders are not able to co-facilitate all 6 sessions and you have a substitute for one of those sessions, we would want that leader who is substituting for you to also complete this so that we have that on file. Again, this is important because we need to report this back to Stanford University for purposes of our license that we hold, as would any other organization in Nevada that has their own license with Stanford University. To help you track your workshop participants, we have an attendance log. This may be something that you've already created, but for those of you who haven't, you can certainly download this and type in the information because it is a file that's in Word, or you can just write in, write in the information. So this allows you to help keep track of all those participants that are registered and then which sessions they participate in, from the first one through the 6th one. There is the pre and post surveys that are very important for purposes of grant funding and helping to inform and let others know about the great outcomes and results of holding these workshops in Nevada are. So there is a 2-page survey. So you will want to download the survey, the correct survey, whether it's chronic disease or diabetes, in English and or Spanish. And so you want to download that and make a copy available for each workshop participant. It's really important that you encourage workshop participants to fill out all questions and that it's clear that there is only one response to each question. And you as a leader, as a co-facilitator of the workshop, you can help clarify questions if any workshop participant has a question about the survey, if they are unclear of what the question is asking. And it is also recommended that you look at the responses, and if you are unclear of what a participant is indicating their response is, that you ask them to more clearly indicate a single response for each survey question. There is the workshop cover sheet. This is utilized when you're done with your workshop because we want to, again, know when we get the materials from you where your workshop was held, the name of that facility, the address, city, state, zip code, etc. We also want to, again, know that the names of the leaders, and if there was a substitute leader, you can add that person on this form as well. We want to know when you started the workshop, when you ended it, and again, exactly what type of workshop it was. Was it chronic disease, diabetes? Was it in English and or Spanish? And then it's important for us to know what's listed there at the very bottom of the form, how many participants enrolled or registered to start this workshop, and how many attended that very first session, and then how many attended at least 4 of those sessions. There's also a workshop tracking form that you might find helpful to use because there are so many forms that you're asking workshop participants to complete. So you can see this allows you to, again, list all of the workshop participants, a phone number for them, as well as an address or email address. It allows you then to indicate that you've received a completed consent registration form. That's that first column to the right of the address or email address column. And then it allows you to track that you have a completed pre-survey, post-survey back from each participant. And then depending how the workshop materials are being handled at your particular workshop, you can indicate that if the workbook was only loaned or the CD was only loaned out, that you received it back. Because some of you may be giving those materials to your workshop participants, and those workshop participants can keep it, but in some cases they may be only borrowing it. And then we also have a media release form. We really like to have pictures of workshop participants. At the completion is best, not when a workshop is live, if you will. And if you are inclined to take a picture of a workshop group when they're done, we would certainly be happy to put that picture up on the website. But in order to allow us to do that for the Healthy Living Up to Me system, we do need to have it's a media kind of photo release form. Again, that form is also on the website, and it would be submitted back to the Healthy Living Up to Me program. So I know we've already gotten to the thank you slide, but I wanted to again go back to the website to remind you that when you go to nvhealthyliving.org and then you go under workshops to about workshops, you'll be taken to this very page right here, and if you scroll down, you will find all of the forms that we have just discussed in this survey packet training. So we hope that as you facilitate workshops in Nevada, that you will help us improve these forms and this process, and we welcome your input on how to make improvements on these forms. There may be additional forms that you already use and want to share with us, and then we'd be happy to share that with other leaders too. So if you have any questions about this survey packet training, you can call any of the people that are located here on this thank you slide. And we appreciate your work on behalf of facilitating workshops in Nevada for chronic disease or diabetes